WordPress uses Gutenberg by default, which is a page builder for creating your posts and pages. I won't go into details now because we are covering it in depth later in the course, but essentially a page builder like Gutenberg works on blocks, and you can type in content, and then if you want to add an image, you would typically add an image block, and if you don't see it in the list, you can search for it and then just add that image block, upload an image, choose one from the media library or insert from a URL, and then once you've inserted your image, you then add another block underneath, which may be a heading block, and then maybe you want to put a paragraph block and so on, and you can build your page up using blocks. So a page builder then works on this block system. In this video, I want to show you how you can revert back to the previous editor that WordPress used to use, called the Classic Editor. Some people prefer it, some people prefer Gutenberg, some people prefer one of the third-party options that I talked about in a previous video. But let's go down to Plugins and Add New, and we're going to go across onto the right-hand side here and type in Classic. You can see that there is a Classic Editor plugin here listed by WordPress contributors, and we're going to click Install. Once it's installed, click on the Activate link, and you can see now that inside our installed plugins, you see that's the menu that we're currently in on the left, we can see that we have one active installed plugin called the Classic Editor. We do need to configure it so that it works instead of Gutenberg, and you can do that by going to the settings. You can access the settings from the plugins screen. You can see there's a little settings link there, and if you click on that, it will take you to the settings. The settings for this plugin are actually found inside the writing settings. So instead of going through the settings link here on the plugin screen, you could go down to settings, up to writing, and click on that, and you'll arrive at the same place. The settings of importance here for the Classic Editor are these two here: default editor for all users and allow users to switch editor. If you want to set the Classic Editor as the default, then just check the Classic Editor radio button. If you want Gutenberg to be the default, you can click the Block Editor as the default. And then allow users to switch. If you have the Classic Editor as the default, but you want the option of using Gutenberg, then click on Yes, allow users to switch editors. When you're done, go down to the bottom and click on Save. And then when you go in now to add a new post or add a new page, you're actually taken to the Classic Editor. As I said, it looks a lot more like a word processor. Because I had the option to allow users to switch editor, if I scroll down here on the right, you'll see that there is an editor section that says switch to block editor. So I'm in the Classic Editor. If I click on this, then this post will open up in the block editor instead. And there we are. We're now inside the block editor. If I want to go back to the Classic Editor, I can go up to More Tools and Options and down to Switch to Classic Editor. And that will then take me back into the Classic Editor. With the Classic Editor, you enter a title at the top, and then you enter your content down in this window down here. You can see, much more like a word processor, this toggle tool button here will open up another row of options. So you can type in your content, and you can even add images by clicking on the Add Media, which will open up the media library. We will have a look at the media library shortly, because you're going to need the media library to upload images, videos, PDFs, and any other documents or resources you want to make available to your visitors. As I said, this was a very quick intro to the Classic Editor. If you want to have a look at it, you want to try it, then install the plugin, try it out for yourself and see whether it works for you. If you decide you don't want it, and in my particular case I don't, I'm going to just go back to my install plugins and remove the Classic Editor, first by deactivating and then deleting. And now I'm back to where I was. If I go and add a new post now, we go straight into the Gutenberg editor. In the next video, I want to have a quick look at the Gutenberg editor so you have an overall understanding of what it is.